So what did we talk about at MadFest? We covered a lot of subjects. Number one is that we should be optimistic about 21 and 22, particularly if you're in the digital part of the industry. And really we talked about two speeds. The digital part of the business, which is currently well over half and going to be 70% in short order, is growing very quickly. The traditional part is under huge pressure. Third-party cookies and Google's decision around deprecation of third-party cookies, Apple around IDFA, and the IP addresses, and how that creates greater uncertainty, and how the marketing VIX index, if there was one, has got through the roof. So clients are looking for guidance and the importance of first-party data and the signals from the platforms. We talked about the impact of the pandemic, that it's created tremendous uncertainty and churn amongst clients. So I think it was a period of reflection. We talked about working from home and how the office is going to change and how we're going for a unitary structure where we have one office, but we look at an office for the people. Really at the heart of it was the optimism around digital growth. So this is the age of disruption and disruptors. The pandemic has, in my view, created tremendous churn. I think companies have been, ironically, better run during pandemic. Authority has been forced down more into the companies. So I see the opportunities as being huge, and from a growth point of view, we always prioritize land and expand. You know, there are tremendous opportunities in the land and expand. The big pitches are much more difficult. I think you go for the big pitches if you think there's disruption taking place and if the change agents inside the clients are being given oxygen to change. And it's more satisfying as well because, and it's stronger because you get more business because you've done a good job. Marketeers surrendered control after 2008. There was so much cost pressure, they outsourced too much. And in a 24/7 always on world, you need to control things. So we have three models. The outsource model, the traditional one, the embedded model where we put people into the client, and the in-house model where we actually say, it's better that you run that media program or media planning and buying or content program internally. Well, within the ad industry, I mean, data-driven thinking is sort of frowned at. You have the opportunity to leverage the data in a meaningful way. And then with the third-party cookie move, it means you're going to be forced back, if you're a client, to your first-party data and mining that, and then using the signals from the platforms, all of which are being consented to by consumers in an effective way. Nice to have everybody back again talking about it. There's certainly a buzz in the room. What's interesting about it is a little bit of a hybrid because you have the online, and I think, you know, a lot of other conferences, Cannes included, should probably learn from it. The lesson of the pandemic, I don't think it created any new trends. I think it's just accelerated the ones that were there. It has accelerated acceptance of digital transformation at consumer level, online education, financial services, streaming, etc. Amongst media companies. So all the trends around streamers, digital outdoor, and finally enterprises that were considering digital transformation have accelerated their transformation. Now we have to adjust to the post-pandemic world. It's not going to go back to where it was. It will be a new normal. And so we have to figure out, you know, for example, on office leases have to be more flexible. They have to be different in terms of their space configuration. And we have to do a lot of hard thinking. We can't be lazy. The technological trends have hugely increased the demand for video. Look at YouTube. You know, YouTube this year, if you extrapolate the Q1 trends, will get to 30 billion of ad revenues, which is the same as Netflix from subscription. I've always been struck by McKinsey's analysis that companies last, on average, in the S&P 500 and FTSE 100 for about 17 years. So maybe we have to think in shorter time frames. I remember Facebook said that women on average spend 1.7 seconds looking at a post. So we created 1.7 or 2-second ads. And that's the way you have to think. The first decade was probably about AKQA, the second decade was about RGA. We think the third decade will be about us. We'll see.